Hi there and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about Adele's new song, and before we get into that, let's just get the obvious things out of the way, because we're here to break down the details of this song, what makes this song unique, special, what the good points are, what maybe could be better. We're here to talk about the video, we're here to talk about all of that, but there's one thing that just seems to be inevitable now after covering so many Adele songs, which is this woman has an incredible voice. I love it. It almost goes without mentioning, and yet I feel that I still have to mention it at the beginning. Voice was brilliant. I love the fact that she can go from those more mellow, intense moments to the much louder, more powerful moments. She's got the grit when she needs it, and yet she's got the beautiful melodic feel that can carry a ballad, along with that, like I say, that grit and that energy that can carry a rock song. And I just love what she's doing vocally, and once again, she really knocks it out of the park with this song. And also, I believe Sheena Ringo, legend Sheena Ringo, did the lyrics for the song. As usual, we're not really going to get into the lyrics here. We're going to talk more about the song in the video. However, I will cover the lyrics soon on my other lyric-related channel. Maybe there's a link in the description below. Maybe I'm wasting too much time cross-promoting my other channels that are only just starting up. Let's get on to talking about this song then, shall we? Because this was a really interesting one. Song and video. There's a lot to unpack on this one. So let's get straight in by talking about what this song actually is. At its heart, this is very much a sort of mid-tempo, dramatic-sounding song, but with a very much a rock leaning. She likes those intense songs from time to time, and this is definitely one of them. Top Musica would be a similar feeling, sort of that with that intensity, and yet sonically very different. Sonically, this is a song that's more focused on sort of distortion. There's various degrees of distortion between the various sounds. I like how at the intro we get like a really full-on. It reminded me a bit of the Bish song, where I really love it, the one where they're constantly shouting she, 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 she. It had that kind of vibe of real intense distortion, and yet it was used sparingly in the right places to give a feeling of sort of panic, a bit of energy, and it was enough that it was both energetic and melodic at the same time, kind of like her voice when she's belting out the rock lyrics. So sonically, that was where this really worked, and it also backed that up with a very catchy chorus. I liked the chorus. Just worked well. It's again, there's something really great about a song you can get which both gives you a gut punch emotionally and also manages to be catchy musically. And this was all due to the fact that lyrically the melody of the song moves quite slowly over the top. It's not too much of a fast moving melody. Also notice the chord pattern in the chorus. It does a nice little game where it sort of goes down again and up again to the same note, or up again and down again to the same note. It's always sort of moving a little bit and then coming back to the same note in a, that's not like reinventing the wheel, but it's interesting how there's just this sort of vibe to the song that it's sort of building up a feeling of intensity, and yet at the same time manages to be very catchy as well. So that about it I really liked. Now, when we talk about the song structure and the way that it's put together, we do have to talk about the fact that this song comes to an end in a really interesting way. But before we get to that, I just wanted to say, verses, pre-choruses, choruses, it's all great, it flows beautifully, it just has an amazing flow, which is what makes the ending all the more interesting. Now, I've always said a bridge can make or break a song, and I've also said that I'm a big fan of songs that have an unconventional arrangement. So considering this song has a brilliant creative bridge and an unconventional arrangement, I'm kind of torn in two directions on this, because there's also something about this that I'm not so keen on. Let's just have a look at this. Now, we have that sort of verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus arrangement at the beginning that's setting you into a normal contemporary song structure. Really like it. It delivers in the choruses. Like I say, everything just flows beautifully. Then we get into the bridge, and the bridge does a great job of now taking us in a different direction, which is what a good bridge very often would be. It goes into that sort of more distorted sound. At first, everything gets really loud, then it breaks down, and we get a slightly more chill bit, and everything's seeming a little bit more quiet. She does that calmer vocal, and you just get the feeling the bridge is circling around the crescendo. It's circling around, bringing you to that ending, prowling slowly into the conclusion that's going to tie it all together. And when she does that quiet vocal and it starts to build up, there's even a bit where it kind of sounds like it's a slight interpolation. I got a vibe of I just heard a bit that sounded really like an interpolation of the Top Gun theme tune in there. And I've got nothing against that. I've got nothing against that. As long as Adele doesn't turn into a Scientologist, that's absolutely fine. But this is kind of, they're building up that grandiose vibe, if you know what I mean. There's a grandiose feeling. It's building up, it's building up. I love just the bridge is so effective. And then it breaks down, as often happens with a Japanese song, and just goes to the chorus melody. You're like, oh, here it is. Here's the final chorus. And then it's done, finished. That's a clever trick. It's not the first time I ever heard it done in a song, but it's a clever trick. Works. However, it works very much at delivering an emotion of, oh, that's unexpected. this is a great thing, but it's also a problem in that it hits you with a surprise, but that surprise in itself is no longer present after one or two listens, because then you know that's how the song ends. So what does it actually achieve? Well, it achieves taking away the conclusion that the song is building up to. Now, you could say that that's the emotion it's going for. It's going for that emotion of subversion, of surprise, of, you're built up and then you're left hanging. But that's not a good feeling. I'm not saying songs have to necessarily make you feel good, but if you're so effectively building towards a conclusion, it seems like a shame not to pay off the conclusion. And this song is not like massively long. It's not like they were sort of overstaying their welcome. So to me, it felt like an attempt to do something dramatic that had an effect, but an effect that is not necessarily, and I've listened to the song a few times now since it came out a couple of hours ago, is not necessarily going to have as much effect after even 2 or 3 more listens, and does leave you forever wanting more. Now, you could say, and I've said this before, again, a sign of a good single is a single that when it ends, you want to listen to it again. But it's a song that you want to listen to it again, knowing that when you do listen to it for the final time, it will have a beautiful conclusion. If every time it ends, it always leaves you hanging because it doesn't feel like it's concluded, I don't know. I feel this is clever. I feel it was nicely set up. I feel it has a dramatic and thematic purpose, but it doesn't. And again, someone's going to probably say, hey, if you read the lyrics, which I will get around to, the lyrics will beautifully explain why. But again, for me, the song has to just work. And the problem is that the ending doesn't work because the rest of the song works so well. The rest of the song so beautifully sets you up. It doesn't work. It's kind of like the ending of The Sopranos. Not that I ever watched it, but I heard what other people said about that. And people said that about like Lost, although I think that was a different thing. I think they tried to end that, but they failed, didn't they? It's like one of those things. It's like having, being clever with the emotion. It still has to be the emotion that makes people go, yes, wow, I didn't expect that, but that's what I wanted. Maybe there's people who like this. There are people who like going on the rides at the theme park that, for me, are not the thrilling, exciting ones where you're like, whoa, where I'm going. They're just instead the ones where you just get spun around until you vomit on yourself. There are people who like horror films where it's not about sort of an intense feeling. It's more about, oh, just look, there's blood everywhere. Now, I'm not saying this is the level this song is on. This song is artistically fantastic. I just don't get why they would want to end the song on a feeling that is, when you've set up such an ending that is going to set you up with such a feeling of yes, and you just know this last chorus is going to be so rewarding. Taking that away feels a little bit like an artistic misstep. So that's my only objection. This is a beautiful song, and yeah, it does make me want to play it several times, which is why I've already played it several times over. But I felt like, yeah, this is one of those ones where actually I said, it would have worked if they'd just gone for the traditional thing and slapped that last chorus on there. Even if it just been a quick chorus, just give us that final blast. That's what we wanted. There you go. Let's talk about the video. Because this video, artistically, absolutely loved it. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of themes that probably went above my head. I never went to art school, but I'm pretty good. I like watching movies. I usually get things pretty well. I did get the basic subtext. It was all, you cut the little speech bubbles with the thumbs up and the thumbs down and the hearts. It was all very much, again, playing on that social media thing. We had people wearing heads that could get smashed off and then revealed another one and seemingly several layers there. That was all kind of interesting, people wearing a mask that hides what they really feel or what they really say. So for me, that was nice. We've seen this sort of personification, this real life representation, semi-real life representation of social media in what people would actually look like if they were their social media avatars, which is what I think they were going for. That was, we've seen it before, but this was just so beautifully visually done. Loved it. Loved the color palette being that sort of black, white, and red thing. It looked intense. It was beautifully set up. There was great shots. There was little bits where she goes into the woods and everything. Not sure I'm 100% got exactly what they're going for, but I kind of got roughly what the feeling was. It just looked really great. Funny enough, one of the weird things is that, again, the last few seconds was, again, where it kind of fell down a little bit, because those last few seconds, I was thinking, anything other than her being the person in the TV. It's like, we all know that's where this is going. It's like, it's so obvious that the person in the TV is her. She's going to go through this realization, see that she's the person in the TV. I was just thinking, that's the only thing that wouldn't surprise me if you did it. And I don't know if they were playing that off as a twist or not. I mean, like I say, for as beautiful it was, most of the video was very sort of predictable stuff we'd seen before. So I don't know if the ending was really try. I think it was just sort of like going, comfort food, this is what you want. You know she's going to be in the TV. You were right. So I don't know. Maybe I just, for me, it was like, she's going to smash it. She's going to be in there. Oh, she's in there. Shocked face. No. Still, though, that doesn't take away from the fact it was visually great. I watched the video when I listened to a song several times. I watched the video several times over again. because it was just a lot of interesting little things to take in there, which I really loved. So yeah, great video, interesting as always, and glad to see that there's always that extra creative aspect given to the visual as well. In conclusion, I mean, Ado is doing something fantastic here. So often when we hear about people getting famous from pop, there is a degree of, you know, they got the right look, the right image, they're that right kind of person, and to get famous, as some people do in Japan, which I really love, from just being a voice and hiding your face, that is a real demonstration that you've got quality, but just she proves it as well. She doesn't always just go for the songs that are the current in style. I mean, admittedly, Japan has a much more open palette, I think, to various styles, and a lot of other countries do. You know, things can get into the charts here that wouldn't get into charts in other places. But for me, it's just amazing that she's doing such a range of songs and she's nailing them vocally, and she's doing all of this without having a celebrity. You know, she is a hidden face. Some people would say that that in itself is a promotion, the mystery, but she's not relying on anything other than you taking in the art, and the art is coming thick and fast. And I just think it's brilliant what she's doing. And this song just adds more layers to that brilliant thing that she's delivering. It is a song that, yes, I do have some things that just, well, really one thing, the ending. I felt the ending could have paid off better, but I loved what it did musically. I'm looking forward to checking out the lyrics on my other channel. And yeah, this was just something that was really enjoyable, and with multiple listens, especially once you got used to the fact the ending is a little bit of a once you get used to that though, with multiple listens, you can't help but just enjoy how many cool things are in here, and just the energy, the delivery, it's brilliant. So I really enjoyed this. I would recommend it to anyone. I'd love to know what you guys think about the ending. As I say, that just for me, that felt like a creatively interesting idea. It had an interesting impact the first time, and then every time afterwards just felt like a disappointment that there wasn't more, which is never a bad thing if people want more of your music. So there you go, those are my thoughts. As always, get in the comments to what you think, until hopefully I see you very soon in Japan for the next one of these. For now, hit my own hat. Ciao, ciao.